Have friends or family coming to Bethany? Give them a home away from home at Hidden Acres Cabin Rentals. In the rolling hills of Bethany, our cozy cabins start at $140 a night and include everything guests need to relax: private space, modern amenities, and a peaceful country setting. Book a cabin today at hiddenacrescabinrentals.com or call 660-373-9927. Hidden Acres Cabins. Comfort for your guests, just minutes from you.
Show your school spirit with a BTC Bank Mascot Debit Card. For each swipe of your Mascot Debit Card, BTC Bank donates 7.5 cents to the school represented on your card. It's a simple step you can take to have a big impact on your community at no cost to you. Stop by a branch today to get your Mascot Debit Card and start making a difference immediately. Visit btcbank.bank to learn more. Member FDIC.
All right, welcome in again to another one of our Sports Central interviews brought to you by Harrison County Community Hospital here on Bulldog Sports TV. Excited once again this week to have South Harrison softball coach Aaron Fitzpatrick with us. And so, Coach, here's the crazy thing. I was looking back. The last time we talked, since then, you've played 7 softball games. You've ended up going 4-3, and in fact, you'd have 8, but one got rained out the other night with Chillicothe. And so maybe just kind of talk us through what that last week has been in 7 days, basically playing 7 games for your team. Ended up 4-3, played in a tournament on Saturday, and just kind of go over those last few games for you.
I'm going to have to dig through my memory bank to remember all the games we played in this amount of time, CF.
So I think it started with Albany and then went into
Albany, yep.
It would have been Albany tournament and then
Putnam.
Yeah, Putnam for conference, and then Hamilton Penny last night.
Awesome, yeah. So the Albany game was last Wednesday. It was a good game. We didn't play particularly well. We kind of struggled with our bats kind of all week last week. You know, we talked about the North Platte game the last time we talked. I think it was the last game we played. But yeah, and you know, we just kind of struggled with the bats. Albany is a good team, a really competitive team. They're a pretty solid team. So you know, we struggled that night. Struggled to hit McKenna Moffitt. She did a really good job just keeping us off balance and you know, executing her pitches. And we had some hard hit balls. We just happened to find some gloves and they hit the ball and happened to find some gaps. And you know, that's the way it goes sometimes. You know, softball is kind of a game where sometimes you catch a break and sometimes you don't. Albany played well that night and was able to beat us. But yeah, it was a good game and a good matchup for us late in the season. So then we went to Putnam the following night. Kind of the same thing to start that game. Rory Gilworth did a good job pitching to us the first part of the game. We struggled to string hits together. We just kind of struggled last week with the bats. You know, they were up 3-0, I think, going into the 6th. And Bailey hit a solo homer that kind of got us started up. Then Amber got a hit, Rory got a hit, and this was all with 2 outs. You know, so we had a nice little 2-out rally in the top of the 6th. Bailey hit a home run, Amber got a hit, Rory got a hit. Trying to walk back through a line. Ella hit a double. We were able to get 4 runs and take the lead in the top of the 6th. And we just did a good job executing late in that game. We did a good job defensively late in the game, not getting out of some jams and keeping them off bases and just doing a nice job. But then we were able to get a sacrifice fly in the top of the 7th to give us a little insurance, ended up winning that game 5-3. So, yeah, those two games last week were good. Good matchups and good couple games to have right here at this time of year.
And so then you go play in another tournament down in St. Joe, Mid-Buchanan, end up, 2-2 in that tournament, losses to Mid-Buchanan and Gallatin. And so another long day, you're there. Still, the weather's starting to get a little bit better this week, but one of those days where you go and you're just kind of grinding it out here at the end of the season down in that Mid-Buchanan tournament.
Yeah, for sure. It was, like I said, it was a long day. We left at 5:45. I think I got home at about 9:30 that evening. So it was a long day, and it, you know, full of good softball and good softball teams. So, you know, we started that day off with Platte Valley and was able to get a big win. We hit the ball pretty well. Our bats kind of got out of the slump a little bit. I think we scored, I think at 19 runs, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong about that, but it was in the upper teens. So, hit a couple home runs and kind of got out of our slump that day. And I was pleased. Molly Botcher started off that day pitching, and she threw a complete game against Platte Valley and did a really nice job. That's really big in a tournament where you can rely on another girl that's maybe not your number one pitcher to get a win and help you out and keep pitch counts down and things like that. So Molly did a really nice job pitching in that Platte Valley game. And then we rolled into Carrollton, who's a strong team. They had a pretty good record. I think they were 16-2 or 16-3 coming into the tournament. And we were able to pick up a 6-1 win. We hit the ball really well off their pitcher, and we did a really good job playing defense. I thought we gave up the only run we gave up was a solo home run. Actually, it was in the park home run. Their leadoff hitter hit a ball right down the right field line and got all the way to the fence. And she's really fast and was able to get all the way around. And that was the only run we gave up. So it was a good game. I thought it was a well played game by us. And then we played Mid Buchanan later on in the afternoon. We were in the gold pool, and we played Mid Buchanan in the semifinals. And it was a really good game. It was 0-0 going into the last inning as time was getting close to expire. And they were able to get 3. We committed a couple errors in the last inning, and they did a good job getting the ball in play and hitting it hard and getting some runs across. And they ended up beating us 3-0. So it was a well played game by both teams. I thought we just happened to be on the wrong end in the last inning. So I was pleased with our performance. At that point in the day for sure. And the Gallatin game. Fourth games of the day in 4-game tournaments. You never know what you're going to get. You never know what the other team is going to bring. It's just one of those days where it's hot. You've been grinding all day, and we just kind of ran out of gas that day. Rory kind of ran out of gas. We pulled her early, and it was just a game that we didn't play particularly well. 1 out of 4 games over the course of a day is and the last one sometimes you get a really good performance and sometimes you don't get a very good performance. And that particular day, it was just a day where we didn't play very well that last game of the day. So get out of that, and then we started that next week. So but it was a good tournament for this weekend, and I thought we played some good teams, especially for this point in the year.
Well, and you guys now, you're at that 20 win mark, which is huge. I'm sure, as a coach, when you look at the number of games, and that's the other thing you and I have talked about as far as number of games, you look at some of these teams you've been playing. I think Gallatin, I was looking at over the weekend, had played basically half the amount of games you have. So when you're talking about those long days sometimes in different teams, you're like, well, hey, they played 4 today too. Yeah, but over the course of the season, they've played a whole lot fewer games. And so just that ability to get ready, and then you end up you go play Hamilton Penny early this week, and so I think that completes, and we'll look at it here in a minute, that completes you playing every team that's going to be in your district. And obviously it looks like the Bats came alive. You got a huge win versus Penny there.
Yeah, we came out really hot in that game. We hit the ball really well. I think we hit 3 homers over the course of the night. No, 4 homers over the course of the night. Bailey hit a couple in the varsity game. Ambry hit one in the varsity game, and Maddie Meadows hit one in the JV game. So it was kind of, maybe we stockpiled all our hits, from the previous week into the Penny game, and we hit the ball really well that night. I thought we did a good job playing defense that night too, for the most part. So it was a good win, and like you said, it wrapped up. What ends up being the number 1 seed for us in districts. It was a good win, and it was a good way to start a week, especially this late in the year. You want to try to be peaking, and I was really pleased with how we hit it, especially how we hit it the previous week.
And so you mentioned last week, and we didn't completely cover it. And so this is the final GRC standings. I think there's still 2 teams. I think Milan and Brookfield need to play, according to what I had. Everyone else has played the 8. So we knew you were GRC champs, but now you're 8-0 GRC champs. And so I'm sure that's something, not just be the champs, but to finish that out, Putnam to go 8-0 is a big deal. And then I wanted to throw up the district bracket. And so you guys got the 1 seed, so you get a bye. And you look at the entire bracket here, playing Penny. You've got wins over each of the team, and obviously 1 win doesn't mean a second win, but the bracket here sets up nicely for you going into district play.
Yeah, that's a well-earned. I think it's a well-earned number 1 seed. We've battled throughout a season. We battled throughout a really tough schedule. We've played every team in the district, and I thought it was well deserved from the girls. And yeah, it's that the getting the first round bye, getting that one seed or the one of the top 2 seeds where you get a first round bye is really big when it comes to scheduling, when it comes to pitches, when it comes to keeping your team fresh. We don't play Wednesday. We roll into Thursday, and we'll be able to get a couple good. We play Platte Valley on Monday. We'll get a couple days rest on Tuesday, Wednesday. Get a couple good practices in, and hopefully be ready to go on Thursday. So getting that first round bye is big. Especially just to get a couple good practices in, keep your pitcher fresh, and then you get a couple days going into the next Monday if you win the semifinal game or your first round game. So yeah, we're excited about being in that place of the bracket. We're excited about the potential matchups as we go through the tournament. So we're pumped for this time of year.
All right, and so we're doing this Wednesday night, but so tonight, as far as when this airs, you're going over to Maryville. You still got 2 regular season games left. You go to Maryville, and then next week on the 13th, you get Platte Valley at home. Got rained out that home game in Chillicothe. So at Maryville and then Platte Valley, that game at home with Platte Valley also be senior night. You've got a lot of seniors, so I'm sure there'll be some emotions and everything going into that game. So maybe just talk about those 2 games and what you've seen out of those teams here on your schedule with Maryville and Platte Valley. Obviously, a team you've seen just recently.
Yeah, 2 matchups we're looking forward to. Play another MEC team. Maryville, record might not be great this year, but they play in the MEC, and the MEC's tough. You got Chillicothe, who's obviously really good. You got the St. Joe schools, who are solid. Savannah, so they see good competition night in, night out. So it's a matchup that we're looking forward to. You got to go to Maryville. We've talked about all the bus trips we've taken over the course of this year, and going to Maryville is about equal as going to Putnam County. You maybe don't have so many hills and curves, but it's about the same distance. So we'll have to play well, going to Maryville tomorrow night, and then roll around back at the end of the season with Platte Valley. And like I said, it's senior night. We're a little disappointed that we didn't get to play the Chillicothe game. That was a matchup that we look forward to every year. They're a really quality team, but we had to move that to the Platte Valley night, which is really good. Give our seniors some recognition that night. And like I said, it will be an emotional night. These girls have had really successful careers. They've been a part of some historic, South Harrison softball teams. They were on the team we went to Final Four a couple of years ago. They've won back-to-back district titles. They've won 2 conference titles. So, getting to play their last game of the regular season at home will be emotional. I'm happy for them. I'm excited for that game and excited for those girls.
Okay, so we've covered everything. We've looked at districts. I'm going to take another dad moment, and you can take a dad and husband moment. The junior high team finished up their season over in Trenton, finished undefeated both A and B, and the run differential was like almost 180 to around 18 or 20 for the season with that first team. And obviously that's not just your daughter and my daughter playing, your wife coaching, but that's the future of South Harrison softball coming up. Maybe just talk about especially the job your wife Danielle did, her and Leslie Price did with that team this year.
Yeah, I was really proud of them. I was really proud of the girls. They played really well throughout the year to be able to go undefeated. And honestly, they didn't play I think maybe 6-0 was their closest game. I think of their 19 games on the A side of it, I think they had 9 shutouts. They were 12-0 on the B side. I think that's correct, 12-0. So to win that many games and to win them in the way that they won them throughout the course of the year, you just got to be really consistent. And you got to be really consistent in every aspect of the game. Like your pitching has got to be dialed in every night. Your defense has got to be really solid every night. Your hittings, obviously, they can hit the ball. They scored a lot, a pile of runs over the course of the year. So I was just really proud of the consistency, especially for such young girls. You're talking about 11 to 12, 13-year-old girls. For them to come out and be that consistent night in, night out is pretty impressive. I'm excited for the future of South Harrison softball. And Danielle and Leslie, they do such a good job preparing the girls to get ready for the high school team. Like I mentioned last week that they're able to do some of the same drills and some of the same stuff that we do at the high school level, and like not only that, but they're prepared mentally. Like Danielle is hard on them, but she is also like loves them, and she'll be the first person to tell them how good they do. And I really, really appreciate that about her. She loves them as kids, and and loves them as players, and that's what we try to do at the high school level too. So it's really cool to see that continuity throughout the program. And I'm really proud of her as a coach. I'm really proud of my daughter and your daughter and all the daughters that are on the team. They've done a pretty good job this year. I'm pretty proud of them.
It's been a lot of fun watching both squads, watching the middle school team as well as the varsity. And so, Coach, we appreciate your time. Good luck versus Maryville and Platte Valley. Bulldog Sports TV, that'll be our last home game that we'll be broadcasting. But we look forward. I've been working with Misha on all the steps we got to go through to try to bring some of the postseason action. And so we look forward to catching you guys, hopefully all the way to the state championship, at least get down there and have a chance in the Final Four.
Man, I like the way that sounds, CF. I hope we turn you into a profit, man.
That'll work. All right. Again, I appreciate it, Coach, and look forward to next time.
Thanks, CF. We'll talk to you later.